So something I've been thinking about a lot recently is how much of our lives, how much of the things that we do not for ourselves, but to serve the opinions of other people. I'm talking about everything from the way that you dress, to the way that you do your hair and your personal hygiene habits, to the way that you maintain your home, to the things that you spend your time and your money on, the things that you buy. How much of the stuff that we do for ourselves, and how much of that stuff is just for somebody else, just to show off to somebody else. I will preface this all by saying that I will acknowledge I am an extremely routine-oriented person. And for me, what that means is that regardless of what I am or am not doing in a day, whether I have to go to work, whether I'm staying home, whether I'm gonna be by myself, whether I'm gonna see people, none of that dictates the way that I live my day-to-day life. Every single day, even if I'm not going anywhere, I get up, I get fully washed, I get fully dressed, I put on regular clothes that I could go out of the house in, like jeans and a t-shirt, or I'm talking fancy. I've personally always found that if I don't do these things, that I feel gross. Like if I don't do my hair, if I'm not wearing clean clothes, if my house is a mess, I feel bad as a result of those things. It makes me feel like lazy and apathetic, and it makes me feel kind of gross, for lack of better words. Even if I'm at home sick for the day by myself, I will still get up every day, I wash my face, I brush my teeth, I have a shower every single day, I will put on clean clothes, and yes, I will do my hair, and people might think that's crazy, but it's just what makes me feel like me. If I'm already feeling crappy, if I'm already sick, lying around in a dirty pair of pajamas all day with unbrushed teeth is only gonna lead to me feeling even worse. I'll be the very first to admit that I might be a little bit on the extreme end for some of these things, maybe even bordering a little bit on neurosis, and that's fair. But I really didn't realize how much of an anomaly these things made me. In fact, it wasn't until this recent pandemic that we've all been through that I realized that most people only practice personal hygiene for the appearance of others. Like as soon as COVID happened, there was this giant global long-winded joke about how nobody was wearing pants or washing their hair or putting on a bra or doing any of the normal things that people would do on a daily basis to get themselves put together. Like the only reason anybody ever shaved or got a haircut or brushed their teeth was because they had to go into the office. And as soon as that was off the table, nobody had any desire to practice basic personal hygiene anymore or to put themselves together and make themselves feel clean and tidy. Over the course of the lockdowns, I had to meet with clients often over Zoom conference, and many of them, completely unprompted, would make some comment about, oh, how unfortunate it is for me that because I'm meeting with people, I actually have to like get dressed, or, oh man, it sucks you have to put on pants. Oh man, you've actually had to do your hair, bummer. And I'm just like, I would do all of these things even if I wasn't talking to you. And I would get on these Zoom calls with people and they'd be in their pajamas. And I don't care, I really don't care, but it was just kind of shocking to me how many people were indisposed, for lack of better words. I saw some things I probably shouldn't have seen, could have lived without seeing. But yeah, a lot of people in their pajamas, a lot of people with raunchy bedhead, a lot of people telling me openly, laughing about the fact that they hadn't washed their hair in 2 weeks. Something else that brought this whole idea to mind was very recently I was visiting somebody in their home, and when I got to their house, the place was an absolute mess. And I'm not trying to be judgmental when I say that. I'm not saying that anybody has to live like they are on HGTV, like that's not realistic for most people, I understand that. But the house was a bomb, like just stuff everywhere. The kitchen counters were completely covered in like just dirty dishes and condiments, and like there was no way anybody could cook in that kitchen. And I didn't say anything because it's not my place. And as we went to walk into another room, the person said to me,
"Oh, sorry, I should warn you, it's kind of a mess in this room, but you know, I live alone, so."
And I was kind of taken aback by that because first of all, like the whole place was a mess. So if they were telling me that this room, if they were warning me that this room was particularly messy, oh my God, what was I about to walk into? But the whole idea of, oh, I live alone seemed really mind-blowing to me, because I would think intrinsically that if you have a busy household with multiple people, or you have a bunch of little kids, like that would explain, oh, well, your house is a mess, you got a busy household, or the kids are messing things up, that makes sense to me. But saying, oh, my house is a mess, sorry, whatever, you know, I live alone, that's how it is. I'm like, wait a minute, if you live alone, that means that the only person that made this mess is you. And I was trying to understand what they meant by that. And the more I thought about it, I realized that they meant that they don't care to keep their house clean because nobody ever sees it. And it kind of like made me sad for them, to be honest with you. Again, I'm not saying that everybody has to live in like a Pinterest catalog, but this idea that living standards, that personal hygiene standards, that cleanliness and tidiness is only for show, only for the opinion of somebody else, is a little bit upsetting. It made me wonder why people value the opinions of others so strongly, but more specifically, why they don't have value in themselves, why they don't see the value of taking care of themselves just to impress themselves, why they don't like nice things just for themselves. Like the idea that your house only has to be clean if someone else is gonna see it, because otherwise why bother? Or like you only have to put on pants if you have to deal with somebody, because who cares otherwise? And that just doesn't resonate with me at all.
Don't you hate pants?
I found that the way that I feel on a day-to-day basis, the mood that I'm in, is so closely linked to the environment that I put myself into. When my house is a mess, I feel, like I said, apathetic. I feel kind of gross. It makes me feel lazy. And it's very easy to look at one surface being a mess and be like, well, screw it, might as well make a mess everywhere. Similarly, when I need to wash my hair, when I have a stain on my clothing, when I'm in my pajamas, I don't feel like myself. And a Snickers isn't gonna fix this, but a shower definitely will. If you're one of those people who only cleans and tidies their home when they have guests coming over, I'm sure that even you can say that it feels much nicer to be in your home, to live in your home, when it is clean and tidy, when it is in guest mode. You know, if it takes company coming over to give you a kick in the pants to get you to do it, okay, fine, but I don't think anybody can deny that it feels nicer. But then we get lazy, and I understand that life gets in the way. I understand that we have busy schedules and jobs and families and all of those things, and I want to be clear that I am not commentating on the aesthetic of your home. I'm not commenting on the design of your home or of your income and what kind of nice place you can afford to live in. I'm talking just about cleanliness and tidiness, just about decluttering, putting things away, vacuuming, washing the floors, wiping down the kitchen counters, just like surface level stuff. I think all of us can agree that it feels much nicer. And similarly, how many of us love to go out for the evening and get all dressed up? But we feel good because at that point you're probably showering and doing your hair and putting on a nice outfit, and that makes you feel good. And my question is, if we can all agree that we feel good when we get washed and dressed up, and we feel good when our house is clean and tidy, and we feel good when we do these various things to take care of ourselves and our environments, my question is, why don't we do that more often? Why are we only doing this to appeal to other people? Why don't you value your own opinions is the real question I'm trying to ask. And this idea branches into so many other aspects of life as well. Like, let's talk about food. You might have company over and you might cook a home-cooked meal for them, or you might get catering in, you might put a nice selection of things for them to eat, but then when it's just you microwave pizza pockets for dinner, because apparently you don't have any intrinsic value. You make an effort for other people, but not for yourself. Why is that? Why can't you make that effort for yourself too? And again, I'm not trying to be unrealistic. I'm not saying you need to spend all weekend cooking a 12-course meal for yourself, but why don't you value yourself enough to take care of your nutritional needs the way you take care of your guests? Why don't you value yourself enough to eat off the nice dishes when there's nobody around, to eat fresh home-cooked stuff, to put on nice clothes? Something that I think is really important for everybody to try, whether or not they're single, whether they're in a relationship, if you're married, whatever your situation is to take yourself on a date. That can be going to a restaurant, or it can even be staying home. But get yourself dressed up in the clothes that make you feel good, whether that's something fancy or something casual. Just put on what makes you feel best. Get yourself tidied up. Make yourself a nice dinner. Get yourself a nice bottle of wine to go with that dinner if that's your thing. Just treat yourself well for the sake of nobody but you. I've talked a lot in other videos in the past about the insecurity that leads to us seeking approval from others, and how we have to let go of that in order to be able to live a happy and fulfilled life, and I so believe that to be the case. But the flip side of that, the flip side of not caring what somebody else thinks, is valuing tremendously what you think, about yourself especially, if nothing else. If somebody walks through my door, I don't give a damn what they think about my house. I don't give a damn if they think that it's beautiful. I don't give a damn if they think that it's a dump. I don't care if they think it's clean, if they think it's tidy. Their opinions are not relevant because this is my home, this is where I have to live. But I care about making it nice for myself. I care about how I feel when I walk through the door. Does walking in here make me feel relaxed, and does it feel tranquil, and do I feel like I'm at home? Or do I feel like I'm living in the middle of a tornado? What I'm trying to impress here overall is that what somebody else thinks of you shouldn't matter at all. You shouldn't feel the need to live your life by the standards of somebody else or to impress anybody else. But you should absolutely be trying to impress yourself. You should absolutely do the things that make you feel good. Just for you. You don't need a better reason. You are the reason. We are products of our environments, and what we surround ourselves in is what we become. If we live in a mess, we become a mess. If we live in dirt, we become dirty. If we surround ourselves with things that are clean and tidy and make us feel good, things that are well organized and things that feel peaceful and tranquil, we'll walk through life feeling well put together, well organized, clean, and with a sense of peace and tranquility, and who doesn't want that? So if you're lying on your couch right now in your underwear watching this video with your phone resting on your chest, consider this the motivation to get up, tidy things up, put on some pants, wash your face, stretch your legs, and see if it makes you feel any different, because I'd almost be willing to guarantee that it absolutely will. If you enjoyed this video at all, if you found any value in it, please go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't done so yet, maybe also consider subscribing to the channel. Feel free to follow me on Instagram at according_to_Nicole. Other than that, thank you guys so much as always for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next week.